guys, welcome back to my channel. For this project we're going to be using black sugar beads, 0.7 mm fishing line, and you'll be needing your scissors or your cutter. Okay, to begin we're going to pick up 4 beads, and you want to string the 4 beads on one end of the fishing line. As you can see, I'm holding both ends of my fishing line together. So once I've stringed the 4 beads, I'm going to pass the other end of my fishing line into the last bead, the 4th bead. Okay, that will help us make our first ring. Then we're going to pick up 3 beads. So we're going to string one on the left, one on the right, then we'll fix the third one back into the left, and we'll use the right one to cross it, just as I just did now. We're going to do the third one now. We'll fix one again on the right, one on the left, then you string the third one and use the other end to cross it. Okay, for this method I'm going to string 2 beads, because I always say that I use the looping method and the crossing method interchangeably when I'm making my bags, right? So when I want my bags to be really firm, I use the looping method, and this is the looping method I'm doing right now. So I have a video on how to make this looping method. I'm going to link it in the description box. This method just helps your bags to be more sturdy and very firm. So I like to use them. I like to use the both methods interchangeably when I'm making my bags. So to continue, I'm going to just keep repeating the same process until I get my desired length. So I'll just pick up 3 beads and fix one on both ends of the fishing line. Then fix the third one and cross it until I get the length that I want before we turn to the other side. Okay, to complete the first row, I'm going to pick up 3 beads, and I'm going to string all 3 beads on the left side of the fishing line, because this will enable me to turn. I've gotten the length I want, which is 8 rings. So I'm stringing all 3 beads into one end of the fishing line. Then I just made the looping method again, so I'm just going to loop it, and that will help me to turn. All right, I have 8. That is the length that I want. So for me to continue to the next row now, I'm going to pick 3 beads again, and I'm going to string all 3 beads into the left side of the fishing line, and I'll use the right one to cross it. And I'll pass my fishing line into the next bead, and I'm going to pick up 2 beads now. I'm going to fix the 2 beads. Okay, I'm trying to loop this time again. So I fix 1 bead. For me to fix the second bead, I'll just fold the left fishing line, fix it, make a loop, and insert the right fishing line into that loop. I have a video. Just watch the video and you understand how this method is being made. I'm passing my fishing line into the next bead again, and I'll just cross it. Once I pick up 2 beads, I'll just cross it. I'll repeat the same process again until I'm done with that row. Just pick up 2 beads, fix it into your left fishing line, and cross it to the right, or you make a loop, whichever method you want to use. Okay, this is the last bead now. I'm going to insert it to the right fishing line. This time I'm going to pick up 2 beads and insert it still on the same right fishing line, because that will help me to turn so I can make my third row. So once I fix it into that right fishing line, I will use the left one to cross it, and that will enable me to turn. I'm just going to flip my bead, and I'm going to start with my third row. My third row again, I'm going to pick up 3 beads just like I did for the second row. I'll fix it into the fishing line on my left, and I'm just going to loop it. Just like that. and that begins my third row. So I'm going to pass my fishing line into the next bead, and I'm going to pick up 2 beads and insert it into the fishing line on my left and cross with the second bead. I'm going to continue this process until I get my base. Okay, I'm going to do the remaining part of camera, and I'm going to show you what next to do. Okay, so you have to determine the length of your beads, the base of your bag, right? So this is what I have as the base of my bag. I have 8 by 8 all around. I have 8 by 8 as the base of my bag. Now I want to start building my bag upwards, right? I don't want to make a mat, then I will have to fold and do the sides. I want to build my bag along as I go. So for me to do that, you have to determine what you want your base to be. So mine is 8 by 8, but for you to start to make your sides, you have to make one more row. So if your base is 5 by 5, you have to make the 6th one for you to start making your sides. So for me now, I have 8 by 8. So now I'm going to make I'm making the 9th one now. That will enable me to start making my side. And this 9th one is going to serve as this one part of the side. Just watch the video, you understand what I'm talking about. I'm just repeating the same process by picking up 2 beads and fixing it, passing my fishing line into the next bead. The same thing we have been doing, alright? So this is the 9th row now. So we're down to the last bead. So this time I'm going to pass my fishing line with the right one like we've always been doing, but instead of me to pass the bead with the same right one, so as to enable me to turn so I can start like the 10th row. I'm not making a 10th row now. I want to continue making the sides all around. So I'm going to pick up my left fishing line and fix the beads into the left fishing line. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. This way the fishing line will going to end by the side, and it's going to help us to continue making the sides. So now what I'll do now is to pass my fishing line into the next bead. Now that 9th one is going to serve as our first side. As you can see, I'm folding it up. Okay, that's going to serve as our first side. So we're going to do the same thing all round, and that will be the first roll for our sides. So I'm going to put my fishing line into the next bead. I hope you understand now by seeing what I just did. I'm going to pick up 2 beads, fix it and pass it to the other fishing line. I'll pass the fishing line again into the next bead. As you can see, we're making our sides already. I'm going to pick up 2 beads again. And I'll cross it with the fishing line on my right. So I'm just passing the fishing line into the next bead again. Pick up 2 beads, put it on the fishing line on my left, and cross it with the fishing line on my right with the second bead. So I'm just going to keep repeating the same process until I'm done with that first row, and I'll show you how to start the second row. Okay, as you can see, we're down to the last bead on that first row. So what you want to do now is you want to pass a fishing line into the last bead and the one beside it. So we're going to pass our fishing line into 2 beads, which is the last bead, which is that one, then the one beside it. So we're going to pass our fishing line into 2 beads. Now we're going to just fix just 1 bead to complete that, first row. I just want to loop this part. I'm just going to folding my fishing line, making a loop, and I'm just going to pass the fishing line on my right into it. So our first row is complete. So we're going to be starting our second row now. So for us to start from where we are, we're just going to pick up 3 beads, string it into the fishing line on our left, then cross with the right fishing line. As you can see, our second row was started. Then I'm going to pass the fishing line into the next bead. I'm going to pick up 2 beads. I'm going to pass my fishing line into the next bead again, and I'll still pick up 2 beads and pass it into my fishing line and cross with the second. So I'm going to repeat the same process until you get your desired the length of your bag. So if I want to complete the second row again, we're just going to pass it into 2 beads like we did for the first row. The last bead we have there, then the one just directly above it. Then we'll just pick up 1 bead. And end it with that 1 bead. I'm making the looping method. So I'm going to start my third row by picking up 3 beads, just like I did for the second row. So it's the same process until you get your desired length, the height of your bag. If you want your bag to be 9, if you want your bag to be 10, any length you want, just keep building up, and you get the desired length. So it's a very easy process. It's not difficult at all. So if you are still watching up to this point, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm to share this video to more people who would like to watch it and learn something, and also subscribe. Thank you so much. So I'm done with my bag now, and I've made my handle. I have a video of how to make a handle, just the last 2 videos I posted before this one. So just watch it, okay? And I've gone ahead to fix one side, so I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing I did for the other side. I'm going to do it here, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you that I'm working with 2 sets of rings, okay? I'm working with 2 sets of ring, which is the first one, this first one, and the second one. So I'm just going to count where I want my handle to be. Since I have 8, I don't have a middle, so I'm just going to do it on the 4th one. But if you want your bag to have a middle, you can just make your 7 by 7 all around, then you can have a middle, which is a 4th bead in the middle. But I have 8. I'm just going to, one side is going to be 5, one side is going to be 3. It's not going to affect the bag in any way, okay? So I'm just going to be using that ring and the ring directly below it to fix my handle, okay? I'm just trying to be sure of where I want to fix my handle. So for us to begin, I'm just going to pick up one bead, string it into one end of the fishing line, then I'll pass it into the first bead. That is, for me now, that is the 5th bead. I'm going to pass it into that 5th bead. All right, now you should have something like this, a fishing line coming out of 3 beads. Then I'm going to pick up one bead and I'm going to loop it. You could also cross yours. You can just pick up one bead and cross it with the both fishing line. Okay, once that is done, now you can see our handle has been attached to our bag, but this is not all. We're going to continue. So I'm going to pick up my fishing line, the one that is attached to the handle, not the one that is close to the bag, the one that is still on the handle, and I'm going to pass it into the next bead on the handle. The next bead on the handle, okay, not on the bag. The next bead, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The next bead on the handle. Then I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to string it into the fishing line. So for this handle, I'm not going to be making a looping method because I want the handle to be really firm. I don't want it to be wobbly or not to be strong at all. Okay, so we have done that. I'm going to pass the fishing line again into the next bead on the handle. I'm going to pick up 2 beads and fix it into the other fishing line. I don't know if I should say the one on my left or the one on my right, but I think the one on my left. Okay, so I'm going to pass the fishing line again into the next bead. This time I'm passing it into 2 beads, right? The last bead on the handle, then the bead directly beside it, that one is the bead on the bag. The one on the handle, which is the last one, then the next one beside it. Once that is done, I'm just going to pick up 1 bead and I'm going to loop it in to complete that row. Okay, this is where we are now, but we're still not done. We're still going to keep attaching the handle to the bag, right? So now I'm going to pass my fishing line into the next bead, the one that is just directly below the handle, the one I'm pointing on right now. I'm going to pass my fishing line into it. Okay, I'm going to pick up 2 beads now. I'm just going to loop it in. You could also do your crossing method, because also interlock yours. You mustn't loop, okay? Okay, I'm going to pass it into the next bead. Don't forget, we're making use of 2 rings, right? Those 2 rings. So we're just going to make sure that we work with the beads that are on those 2 rings. So I'm passing into the next bead. It might seem confusing now, but once you are making yours, you understand what I am doing. So I've passed it into the next bead and I'm going to pick up 2 beads again. I'm going to loop it in. Please, if you have any questions and you're confused, just send me a message on the description box. I'll reply. So I'm passing into the next bead again. Don't forget we're making use of 2 rings to attach our handle. So we're going to be going around all the beads on the rings, right? So I've passed into the next bead. I'm going to pick up 2 beads as well. I'm just going to loop the beads in. Now I'm going to pass my fishing line into that last bead. It might seem a little bit difficult at this point, but just try to pass it in. And I'll pick up 2 beads again. I'll just fix it in. So now I'm going to pass my fishing line into 2 beads. The last one that's on the body of the bag, then with one that is attached to the handle. Okay, so once I've fixed that, now I'm just going to pick up 1 bead and I'll complete that should I say ring or should I say row? I'll just complete that step. Okay, I'll complete that step. Okay, so now for us to fill up that space, I'm going to pass my fishing line into these 2 beads. Then now we're just going to pick up just 1 bead, and that will complete the attachment of the handle to the bag. Okay, once that is done, I'm just going to pass my fishing line into the handle. I'm just going to weave it back. But for the fun, I'm just going to pass it into those 3 beads just to secure it, just to connect it rather, so the beads will be connected. Pass it into this one, then I'll pass it into the last one as well. So once I'm done now, I'm just going to pass my fishing line back into the handle or into the bag. I'm just going to weave it in and make sure that that fishing line is exhausted so that my handle can be strong and it won't unravel. That's what I'm trying to do now. Okay, so anytime you're trying to pass a fishing line into maybe a bead and it's proving difficult, all you need to do is just snap it. Maybe it could be that the bead is already weak at that point, so just use your scissors and just cut that part out and it will just pass through easily. As you can see, it's still difficult to pass through because that part was weak, so I'm just cutting it out, and as you can see, it just passed through very easily. So that's like a hack for you. Okay, so I'm done passing my fishing line now. This is the end result of the bag. Okay, this is what we have. I'm going to drop a video. I make the inner pouch. Okay, I'm going to do a video of that, but this is the end result of the bag. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I love you all.